early. Gotta wait for people to join. Right. I will start when there's like, I don't know, a few people here. Hi, Kippo. Haha, first, yes. I remember when you had like a streak going to like be first to my lives. Also, I love your profile picture. I love Rainbow Dash. So yeah, I'm gonna be reading 2 chapters of my story that are under construction. So yeah. So story time! Yay! And yeah, I'm gonna start reading when there's like, I don't know, a decent amount of people here or like a few people here. So yeah. I'm sorry managing the edit. My motivation just had been gone. No, I'm gonna read, then people can join. Once I'm done reading, then people can join. But yeah, you can join Olympic Games. It's okay. Like for the edit, it's fine. You didn't have to make me an edit. It's okay. I get like I've had like little motivation lately too, so I get that. Don't worry. So I didn't read. No, it's fine. It's fine. I didn't expect people to read it anyways, so I'm just gonna tell people when they come. So yeah. But other than that, I'm gonna just play like the talking and then waiting game for people to come. And then if people just don't come, then you can join. So yeah. But I think there hopefully will be people joining. Hopefully. I put the times out of like yesterday, so hopefully. But yeah. Bruh, the bots are crazy. It went to one person to 21 people. The bots are crazy. I swear like half of YouTube is just pure bots or whatever because like some stuff is just doesn't add up, Loki. But yeah. And then this book is about my dragons, so like Lunar Blossom, I'm going to be reading Lunar's chapter and Blossom's chapter and that's it. Not the prologue because I just started that and it's nowhere near being done. So, yeah. And plus I want to change some like big things about it. No, it's fine. It's fine. So I'm just gonna be like doing weird things and stuff and reading. I love reading to people, especially if it's like my own book and stuff. So yeah. Lunar's chapter I still need to write more for because it's really short for no reason. But Blossom's chapter is pretty long. So yeah. I mean, long in my sense of long. My sense of long is like 8 to 10 pages because I'm not the best writer. I'm imaginative, but like I'm not the best writer and stuff. So yeah, but it's okay. Ooh, 2 likes already. It is 5 minutes now officially. Bro, I swear, if I start reading, like everyone's gonna join after I start reading. So then it's gonna be like no one knows what's happening. And that's gonna be sad. There's 4 people. That's believable, I guess, but I feel like still some are bots. But yeah. And hopefully I will introduce my new dragon this week. Well, technically it's not a dragon. Ha ha ha. It's a stuffed cat. Dragon puppet thing. Yeah. Mm. The waiting game is so boring. Squish. Oh, oh no. Play the waiting game. The waiting game. The waiting game. Only had like other stuff to do, which I really don't. Hold on. What? Huh? I don't know what you mean by that, but whatever. Right, if like people don't start joining for the story time, I literally am gonna start summoning people. And I know exactly who to summon first. Because literally she's like literally in the story. So like okay. Well, hmm, I have no clue what you mean by that. But yeah, 8 minutes, bro. Oh, hi Hazelnut. Hello. The keyboard. Yeah. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm gonna be reading my book, my first 2 chapters of my book, once people join. Hello. Sorry, I had no idea you were live. No, it's fine. I just started the live. It's okay. Yes, yes, you have been waiting a while. So, probably in a few minutes, I'm gonna start reading because book. Yeah. Chapter 1 and then chapter 2, and then afterwards, moderators can join. So, yeah. But, yeah. And then maybe after, I'll even start, probably after, like, once people can join, I'll start working on, hello, my dragon. What book is it? It's my book. I haven't really decided on the name yet. I mean, I think I have, okay, I have a name right now. I don't know if it's official though, so I'm not going to say it. But yeah, it's my book that I wrote myself. And it's not done. It like the first two chapters are under construction, which basically means I'm working on the two chapters and you're going to listen to like what I have for the first two chapters. The first chapter, I don't know how this happened, but it's really short and I don't know why it's really short, but yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Isabel. I appreciate that. So, yeah. Okay, I think I'm gonna start reading because there's enough people here. Okay, I'm gonna put Hello Kitty back. We got Sanrio characters, cause yeah. Okay, don't judge, don't judge, don't judge, and don't judge, and don't judge. Okay, I just changed the name of a ton of characters in the book, so do not judge if I get them wrong. Okay. No mods, please do your thing. I'm just saying, like, you can't say that. Listen and we don't judge. Exactly, exactly. Okay. Some of you may have heard of this before. I don't think many of you have. But the second chapter I've never revealed. So, well, I've revealed the first part of it, but not the second. So, yeah. Okay. So, I can't show you the things. The not the the stuff that I'm working on just because I don't want a notification to pop up out of nowhere because I don't trust notifications. No, you're gonna get banned for that because you can't say that. Thank you, Hazelnut. Thank you. Okay. So this is about my dragon puppets. Okay, I'm giving you context before I start it. This is about my dragon puppets. Yes, the dragon puppets that I made. So you will be hearing a chapter from Lunar and a chapter from Blossom in order. So Lunar, then Blossom. The first chapter is framed memories about Lunar, and then the second chapter is nothing but normal. And that's about Blossom. And I do have these on two different devices, so I will have to transition. So yeah. Okay. So, chapter one, frame memories. She looked at the pictures if they were the only thing that she had. I think, should I just like take this? Yeah, I'm just gonna take that because it will make my life easier because I'm blind. Um, she looked at the pictures if they were the only thing she had ever had. Her claws clenched the pictures as a knot in her stomach got tighter and tighter. The room was dark and quiet, just how she liked it. When was the last time these lights were turned on? She thought. The room was silent, and she had plenty of time to think about her thoughts. This room was old, way older than her, but it still wasn't so old that it looked like a monstrosity. Also, I will not be reading chat because I'm reading a book. I forgot to say that. But yeah. Um Yes, it was dusty and filled with plenty of cobwebs, but it almost looked as if it was trapped in time or even preserved. Her flickering candle lit only the pictures as she peered closer to them. She chose a small candle in case she needed to put it out fast. She put the candle her by the pictures. She looked at one which was her nightshade, her mom, and her father. We were all smiling, and our dazzling black castle was in the picture's background. Our scales had a glow to them, probably because the sun rays were just even more than our scales. She also noticed how young she and Nightshade looked. She looked at the pictures closer, trying to spot more details. Her snout was nearly the glass. This is when we were happy, she thought. They weren't now, not without her mom. Not without the beloved queen of the Dark Kingdom. Her mom's name, Queen Luna, echoed in her mind. She was named after her mother. Her mother had an unexpected death that happened so fast. She was sick then. Well, she died. Her mother always loved her, and now who did? Now all her brother loved was the idea of being king of the Midnight Kingdom. My father loved that idea too, and wanted him to get the throne. And I was all alone, alone with nothing but the past. My mother's passing changed Nightshade and Dad. Now they were almost like cruel and competitive royals. They just went cold, but I still wasn't, and I wouldn't let myself go cold. Was Nightshade ready to be king? He's still so young. I mean, I'm younger. Do I have a chance to become queen? I thought. My self was saying, yes, you do. Well, I didn't know anything about being a queen, and I didn't have the proper teacher to teach me the ways of being a queen. I asked my father, but he said no, stating he was too busy teaching Nightshade, which is probably a lie. Plus, everyone likes Nightshade, and he's basically already king. It scared me to think that my father has the power to marry me off to some dragon. They would have to be a noble at the very least. I didn't want to be married off to some stranger. What if the dragon was abusive or worse? Would I ever see Nightshade and my father again? I wanted to find true love, which was almost hopeless in my state of royalty, if only it gave me a chance. I overheard my father said no royals would ever love her because she's just too unroyal-like and lacks the proper etiquette for a princess, which was his opinion and not a fact. The dragon he was talking to was a matchmaker for Nightshade, and he still is here, maybe for me too. My emotions were heavy and my eyes watered. Okay, I'm just gonna take a break real quick and check chat like every, I don't know, a little bit, just in case. Yeah, like nothing happened. Okay, that's good. Okay. So oh my gosh. My emotions were heavy and my eyes watered. I heard claw steps in the hall. Someone was coming. I rubbed my eyes. It was probably Galax, my tutor, who barely taught me anything and was always late to my lessons. Sometimes he would even fall asleep during our lessons. Instead of watching him sleep, I would slip away to places, including my mom's room. Then, when he wakes up, has to come and find me, which isn't easy. He usually comes up with an excuse for my father, which is pretty believable, but some things just don't add up. Putting sleep medicine in his milk, I don't have access to sleeping medicine, and it's called a sleeping potion. He had to take care of his dragonettes. He doesn't have any. And that he had to stay up late because of his other job. This is his only job. I found some files about him, secret files, that not even my father knows about, obviously. I also tested out the files by asking him questions that also don't add up. His dragonette's names would sometimes change, and so does his other job. Then the door flew open, and oh my gosh, and in came my father. My eyes widened with surprise. His narrowed. Did you put any type of medicine in Galax's milk? He growled. No, I answered. Why are you in here? This place is strictly off limits. Now he seemed mad. Well, maybe sad. Actually, both. I noticed the guards outside the door. Oh no, that isn't a good sign. Did you kill Galax? He asked solemnly. I swear I didn't do anything. I said, Galax died? Get out now, he roared. You worthless dragnet, he muttered. I ran out of my mother's room, straight down the hallway to mine, which was just located close to the balcony. Okay. Hello, new people. I am reading my book, and now I lost my place. I ran out of my mother's room and straight down to the hallway to mine, which was located close to the balcony. I entered my room, still the same as I left it. I jumped into my sleeping spot. Tears flooded my eyes. What did they mean by I killed Calix? Did someone kill him, or did something else happen? Is someone out to get us, or was it just him? My head was full of questions, and I no longer felt safe. Get ready. We have an announcement to make to the kingdom of midnight dragons, Bretta said, appearing out of nowhere, like she usually did. Little Moonlight, are you okay? She said. I could feel her eyes on me. Moonlight was her favorite nickname for me. I didn't answer her question. Well, at least I know why my father was looking for me, or was. Well, what? Okay. There's so many grammar mistakes. It's so bad. Oh, Moonlight, I'm so sorry, but we need to get you ready. The king's orders. Moonlight, your father was just worried. He couldn't find you, and Galax was, well, dead, she finished. He thinks I did it. Why would I kill some dragon for no reason? She practically had to drag me out of my sleeping space. I stayed on the floor, and she helped me up, and finally I stopped fighting her. Now, let us begin with shining your claws and scales, she said happily. You may feel embarrassed, Moonlight, but no one will ever know you are crying. I lifted up one of my claws. She took some clear looking stuff and started to rub it against my claws. They shined like the moon and twinkled like the stars. Then she moved on with my scales. The goo felt cool and nice. The knot in my stomach got tighter, knowing that I would soon be in front of dragons instead in front of a crowd of dragons, my kind. But why did I always feel so different? Why did my father have to announce something today and right now? What could be so important? Okay, Moonlight, I'm done, she said, smiling. Don't look down, little Moonlight. Act like your mother. I wasn't my mother. I would never be her. I wasn't confident, mystical, and a magical soul like her. I had very little power, and Bretta was nice, but she didn't know me as well as I knew myself. Well, even I didn't know myself much better. Then another dragon. Oh no. Then another dragon came rushing in. Okay, I'm gonna take a little break right now. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yay. If you're talking to me, yes, I have read Wings of Fire, and that's like literally probably the thing that compelled me to even make dragons, to even like dragons, and to even write this book. So, yes, I love Wings of Fire. Just joined. Welcome back. Yes, Wings of Fire is amazing. Wings of Fire is amazing. My favorite book series are probably the Powerless trilogy and Wings of Fire. So, yeah. Will you show a dragon later in the stream? Yeah, probably. Hi, Luna! I don't know if you just joined or not because I'm reading my book, but yeah. Trying to go to Barnes and Noble today, get the new book. Yes. I need to get all the graphic novels, but I'm poor and I have to stop buying more books because like I still need to finish my one. Favorite wing My favorite is Ice Wings. Yes. My favorite are like the non-toxic Nightwings. Like I took a quiz online and I would be like a Ice Wing, Nightwing, Sea Wing, Tribird. So yeah. My sister has like every Wings of Fire book. Lucky. I donated all my Wings of Fire books. I didn't have eh, all of them, and then I just donated the rest because I didn't need them. So yeah. My favorite are Nightwings too. A yes. I stole one a year ago and she still hasn't found it. Bro, give that back to your sister. That's mean. Okay, now I'm gonna start going and reading again. So basically, let me summarize what just happened. Lunar is basically in her mom's room looking at pictures. Her mom is dead. Yeah, Luna, you're dead. Cause her mom's name was Luna. Luna Ann. Well, but Luna, she goes by Queen Luna. So she's dead. But she does come back in the series. Not how you would think though. But but and basically, she was looking at pictures. Her father came into her mother's room, basically where she was at, and yelled at her. And basically, her tutor, who like never taught her anything and just fell asleep, was found dead. So now, her father, the king of the Midnight Dragons, basically accused Lunar, her, of murdering Knighton, which she didn't, obviously. But like now like he was looking for her because like they were doing an announcement basically, and now Brida, her maid, is getting her ready for the announcement, and now y'all are gonna listen to what the announcement is because yeah, gang, I haven't been reading since like 3. I asked who Darkstalker was and she pointed to Flame. Oh my gosh, that's depressing. That's depressing. Anyways, let's, without further ado, let's read. Okay, now we're in the world. And then another dragon came in, rushing and holding some accessories. The dark, the what? The dragon had dark black scales like everyone else in the kingdom, but they were shinier, probably because of how fast the dragon was sprinting. The dragon looked like they were in a rush, and their eyes were wide. The dragon quickly put a dangling crown on my head. The jewels hung on my forehead, making a pretty look when I glanced in the mirror. Blue diamonds, I said to myself while arranging them on my forehead. Brida nodded and smiled at me. Dark blue diamonds. Blue diamonds were my mom's favorite. They were also mine. You better go now. The king is waiting, and he isn't known for being patient, the dragon said, and rushed on his way out of my door. I made my way to the door and outside. And mm, what the heck? Okay. Why couldn't they do them why couldn't they do it without me? Without a word, I followed them to the announcement balcony, and our guards held the door for us and bowed politely. My eyes squinted as we went out into the sunlight. Then I went over to my designated spot for announcements, and Nightshade also went to his. I looked down at the crowd and desperately tried to keep myself from flinching. How many dragons are here? I was always nervous when I had to come with Nightshade and my father to an announcement, but today I was more nervous than usual. I was nervous because I could feel my father's rage still bouncing off of him into the world. My mother always said, anger is a virus and it spreads easily, so be careful not to catch it. She also used to tell me that it doesn't last long, but it can overheat dragons, therefore making them do unwise things. My mother was really wise, and those quotes made me miss her more. My lovely kingdom of midnight dragons, my father began. I am happy so many of you have came here this perfect evening. I have an announcement to make, he boomed. Our beautiful Princess Lunar has declared to let Nightshade have the throne, he finished. My eyes almost popped out of my head. What did he just say? That isn't true. My thoughts were interrupted by his talking. She, of course, let me do the honors of telling everyone, he said with a polite smile that looked extremely fake. My eyes darted to Nightshade. He had a slight grin on his face, as if he was amused, and I doubt the crowd could even see his grin from a distance. He knew it, didn't he? I thought. Into the crowd, no one's eyes were wide, and no one's mouth was open, as if Nightshade was gonna win. Questions asked. None of them are surprised. Not even one of them are. So I pronounce my future king. What? The future king! My father roared. Everyone started cheering louder than I ever heard them cheer. I don't matter to them. Only Nightshade does, I thought. The knot in my stomach finally broke. I felt so bad, and I wanted to start crying, but I was also furious. I wanted to start screaming. My emotions bubbled into anxiety, and it felt like I would start hyperventilating. The crowd's cheers got loud and louder. My ears started ringing. I started to feel dizzy. I never said that to my father. I wouldn't just give up the throne. I would tell him that I could teach myself to be queen. I'm plenty smart and can read all the books in the library about a beginning queen. I wanted to say that I am a true royal and I can prove myself to you. Sweat built up on my forehead. When will this be over? Thank you again, my kingdom of midnight. My father finished. He was a father, and now he was a liar. I bit my lip. It reminded me of another one of my mother's quotes. I walked back to the doors and tried to keep calm so no one would notice. I was sweating and shocked out of my mind. Nightshade turned a corner probably to go to his sleeping space. Now there's two paths to follow. One, follow and confront my father, the king, or go back to my room. Okay. Oh no. Goodbye, Hazelnut. Okay, I am done with chapter 1. Remember, they're all under progress. So, this chapter 1 will be getting more details, and this is not the only thing that will happen. So, yeah. I don't know how many people are here yet. I don't think there's a lot, but whatever. Okay, chapter 2 now is nothing but normal. This is Blossom's chapter. In her chapter, I will have to like go on my Chromebook to get the other part because I haven't added the other part to my iPad yet, but whatever. So basically y'all are going to hear about like a page and then I'm going to have to transition. So bear with me. Anyways, chapter 2, nothing but normal. Her eyes fluttered open and the sunlight caught her eye. Her scales shimmered in the sunlight like everyone else's. She gracefully got up out of her sleeping space, making making the spot when she got out of it. She hurried over to her desk to get her light pink book bag. She grabbed it and put it around her. She felt the cool leather on her scales. She reached inside to pull out a small bedazzled case. She opened it. Click. It revealed a small mirror that she had looked into and saw her pearly white scales and her pink petals running down her back, tail, and three on the side of each side of her jaw. She flexed her petals, making them twitch. She let out a quiet sigh. Ugh, I I wish I got I got to get to school, she thought. She quickly grabbed her books, put them in her bag, and hurried out the door. Once she was outside, the sunlight warmed her scales. She flexed her wings and started to walk to school. Okay. Her school wasn't that far away. It would take her about 12,500 claw steps to get there. She passed many familiar dragons when she was walking to school. Their distinct colors were very recognizable. A few even said hi to her, and she enjoyed the socialization. She finally got back to school and she walked through the door. She sat in the front and put her book bag on the table. She didn't have many friends cuz she would rather get her studies done than chatting with some friends and getting distracted. Her mom always told Her mom always wanted her to be smart. You're pretty enough. Now you should Now you should work hard and become smarter than all the blooming tribe, she would say. She always had the brightest smile, and it would always would add that if you were smart, you can have bragging rights. And that always made her giggle. She was cunning, yet kind, and anyone would be lucky to be her daughter. She still didn't know what happened to her mother and why she disappeared. She missed everything about her, from her delicate rosy petals to her sparkling white scales. Miss Blossom, the teacher said, I can see that you are daydreaming again. She strode over to m- my desk. I'm sorry, she said. It's okay. But I do have to say, you look like you're more like your mother every day. That hit me hard, but a little punch to the stomach wasn't something Blossom couldn't handle. In return, she smiled brightly, the way my mom would. She realized the dragon was Miss Petal and went to her table to start and she went to her table to start class. Then she what oh my gosh. She taught Dragonia, which was that's gonna change. That language or whatever, that's gonna change. Which is our language. Dragonia is rather easy to learn, and it didn't take her long to learn to speak it when she was a dragonette. It didn't take many other dragonettes trouble either. All it did for class was all she, all she did was for class was go over grammar that she had already learned. She taught herself. She gets bored. Blossom gets bored when she's alone, and but she enjoys teaching herself stuff like little hobbies that can keep her busy. Mm, She has always loved to write small stories, watercolor, and sew. She likes to sew little stuffies for the dragonettes and drop them off unless she had some learning work to do. Learning work was pretty easy for her, and she almost always had time for her hobbies. Miss Petal went to go on to the next subject they were learning about, which was math. She handed out a worksheet and blah, 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 blah. Also, a ton of stuff is changing like this. Like, Miss Petal is only going to be the math teacher, not the English teacher. So I will change this. But yeah. Basically, Blossom is like hella smart. And yeah, not only is she hella smart, but her mom went disappearing a few years ago. Her mom disappeared a few years ago. So basically, yeah. So now is gonna be I'm transitioning to my um next like my Chromebook basically so I can find the other chapter. So yeah, the other chapter is 7 pages. So it's gonna be a long one. And no, Abel, you are not smart. No. 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 Also, ignore my dad downstairs. He has like I don't know, the TV on and he's laughing really loud. Okay. Is there anyone here? Whatever, I don't care. Okay. It's their laws. Blossom chapter, aka chapter 2. Blossom handed in the rather unchallenging packet in the metal bin the teacher kept in the room. Miss Petal, what are we doing next? She asked politely, turning her face. Well, I was thinking of having a study time, 'cause everyone looks exhausted, and they would pluck my petals if we had to learn another lesson. Miss Petal replied brightly. It's quite a long class, and I already lectured for half an hour, handed out the homework packet to everyone, and covered all today's topics. Plus, we don't have much time left before the next class, Miss Petal said. Thanks, Miss Petal. I appreciate it, said Blossom groggily. She walked back to her desk, slowly sat down, and rested her head on her notebook, forgetting about her utensils on the side of the the wooden desk. As she got comfortable, she faded off to a deep sleep where it was black and dreamless, giving her the rest she desperately wanted. Bring! Blossom shot up from her chest. Geez, was I sleeping the whole time? She thought. Blossom quickly shoved her notebook and utensils into her bag. Dragons were rushing out of the classroom to get to their next class. Goodbye, Miss Petal said as Blossom left the door. Blossom waved to her as she headed along. She trotted into the narrow hall trying to avoid other dragons. Hey, said a white, blue, and green dragon, moving towards Blossom. Hi, Florin, Blossom replied. Florin was Blossom's childhood friend. He was also sort of maybe Blossom's love interest. He was charming, diligent, and absolutely dreamy. His white coloration with a medium blue green ombre petals that blended perfectly with his white scales. His eye his eyes were bright neon green that looked like they would glow in the dark. His interests his oh my gosh, his interests were not only dangerous but sort of unique. Blossom always liked that about him. So basically, we're talking about a new character named Florin. And let's just say Florin is a very interesting person. By interesting, I mean stupid. Very stupid. Oh, hi, Candle. Okay. And we will see why he's stupid in a second. I mean, not directly, but indirectly. Even though she had to stop him several times before he did anything too stupid. Blossom was too shy to tell him anything, so instead she stuck to saying hi to him in the hallways during the classes. He pulled her aside in the Monsters Club. So, do you want to leave school? I'm not following. Blossom laughed nervously. She was very surprised that he would say this so suddenly out of all times. I bet he didn't even think this through. Classic Florin. He sighed and looked around. I mean, like, get out and like go somewhere and maybe like see something together, like a scenic garden? Blossom looked at him confused. But we have school. We can't just leave, we're not supposed to. And why now out of all times? Well, I finally found you. I barely see you anymore, and it feels like you're avoiding me, Florin said, clearly disappointed with how harsh she came out. Ouch, that hurt. Well, 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 I'm always busy because of school and hobbies. Well, you know me, miss. I'm always busy because of school and hobbies, Dr. Dragon. She laughed a little bit more uneasily before. Please, Blas, I want to show you a surprise. I already know you don't have time out of school and advanced learning. Don't worry, it's really close, Florence said. His adorable green eyes wanted Blossom to give in, and she could feel herself slipping, even though she didn't want to. His stupid, cute, neon green eyes. Ugh. She gave him an extremely sympathetic look. Okay, but I need you to be quick. You know how much I love accounting, she whispered. Okay, follow me, said Florin with a shiny, delighted smile. She followed. Oh my. Okay. Sh- She followed Florin down the shiny wooden hallway, dodging students left and right. Then Florin turned right, ducked under the bright red separation tape, and started to run. She followed. This hallway was abnormally dark, and she knew dragons weren't allowed down here. This hallway, it was what was left out of the old school, which wasn't used anymore, except for an investigation that was going on in this part, which was the reason it wasn't destroyed. The investigation faded over time, and the part wasn't destroyed because the king said so. Blossom remembered that it was something confidential that no one really knew about or cared about. She ran after Florin, wondering if he knew a way back. He knew a back way or a secret cave that connected to the wooden school. As they ran, the floor became a rock solid, bumpy texture, which meant that they were heading towards at least one cave, if not many. Blossom was also a fan of unhurtful secrets, but this journey was making her nervous. Oop, I just got a notification. Yet she still refrained from saying anything in fear it would make her look wimpy. Florence stopped at a ragged old cave entrance and it was closed off by a large rock that looked jagged and worn down. He silently looked at it for a second and then proceeded to put his claw on it. It read his claws and his scales, and suddenly the rock moved to the left like it was connected to some sort of contraption. Blossom looked at him awestruck. Spell of force, Florin said. Spells weren't common in the Bloom Kingdom. They never had been. The tribe of beauty and the power that came with that beauty. Not magical, just pretty. She followed and he closed the door discreetly. She was tense with the unknown. The room was also pitch black except for a little light coming from a corner, and it smelled like dust. Also, I forgot to tell you that we're not exactly leaving the school, Lauren whispered. Okay, she whimpered. The light glow got closer, making Blossom draw back slightly. It's okay, Bloss. He put his claw on her shoulder, which only made her draw back more. Why can't I just sink into a hole? She thought. Sorry, I get triggered easily, she said. It's okay, Bloss. You don't have to apologize, he said. Blossom felt comforted by his voice, and she inched toward the light. Do you want to hold another lantern while we walk? Warren said, while looking around for something. He stopped and picked up another lantern, which was weird. It was already lit. Yeah, sure, Blossom said. Lauren had handed her the lantern, which she put up to the candle to carry in her jaws. She put up the handle to carry in her jaws. Okay. Finally, the room was slightly brighter, and but she could only see Florence' face. He turned and led the way. Okay, I'm actually just gonna take a break. Okay. Okay. Actually, you got that wrong. It's Blossom's the naive one. Even though she's really smart, she is a little naive. Florin is not naive. I wouldn't say I maybe in the beginning he's sweet, but at the end he's not sweet. But yeah. He's just kind of dumb. Very dumb. But I mean, technically he was like blackmailed. So like maybe he's not too dumb, but like he still is dumb. But like he was blackmailed into doing something bad, so basically yeah. And poor Blossom has to suffer because of that. He turned and led the way. He took a few claw steps and said, "Watch out for the stairs. Though they're pretty steep." Okay, Blossom said hesitantly. Lauren went first down the stairs, and she was close enough to him to see his outline. Also, this is a spiral staircase. Oh, it says it right there. Whatever. Or does it? Yep. Yeah. Cream-colored wax dripped down the stairs slowly as it descended into the deep down below. Hold on, this is a spiral staircase, Blossom thought. Step, step, step. All 8 of their claws went as they hit the metal stairs. I think my new fear is going down steps, Blossom. Steep steps, Blossom thought. Florin, Florin, how much longer? Blossom asked. Okay, I'm on flat ground, so just keep going until you hear my voice. His voice echoed. Coming, she said. Florin's voice sounded far away and echoey. Blossom got scared. What if he leaves me behind? What if he's tricking me? She almost wanted to turn back, but she knew she couldn't get out because of that secret rock. She started to go faster and faster down the stairs. Then he started to hum. The humming continued as she stopped and took a breath and carried on. She took a few more steps and finally hit the soft ground, a soft dirt ground. I'm here, you can stop now, she whispered. Okay, we are almost there, I promise. Blossom looked around the room, which was small and bare and carved out of rock, and it was only enough to fit four gr- full-grown dragons. Florin placed one of his claws into a slit in the wall. His singular claw was compared to how big the slit was. I'm guessing this isn't exactly a place for students, or maybe teachers, or at the least full-grown dragons, Blossom thought. Blossom didn't like the Blossom didn't like trouble, but she wasn't allergic to it and didn't want Florin to feel bad. She knew that he meant well. The door split into pieces and revealed what was inside. What in the magic? Blossom said with a smile. Oh, this is just the start, Florin said with a grin. Ladies first, he said, motioning to the door. Blossom slowly moved forward, hesitantly, but she was extremely curious. She peeked out through the door, and her eyes lit up. Is that what I think it is? She asked herself. She walked in to reveal a garden, but not just any garden. The garden was glowing. The room was big enough to fit at least hundreds of full grown dragons. It was majestic with all its glowing, bright green vines and every color of flower you could imagine, dangling from the glossy green trees. The floor of the glowing garden was full of long grass mixed with many kinds of delicate flowers. Plants were growing almost everywhere, and it looked like it was taken straight from the from heaven. There was even a small pond that looked like it was doused in a greedy amount of glitter. Magical garden, Florian said, smiling with pride. But how? Why? Blossom stuttered. I'm not sure why, Bloss, but look at it all. She stared at him, mouth open in shock. I have so many questions, she thought. How did you find this place? She asked hesitantly. Well, was shown this place by my when I was little by my parents. They promised to let me have access to it and pass it down through my family. Then why are you showing me? This is a boring part, so we're gonna skip this. Okay, here. My parents told me that this basically he wanted to show her it because they're besties right now. Um, my parents told me that this place was enchanted hundreds of years ago and that it was passed down from generation to generation, Florence said quietly. But why this school? I asked that too, and my parents said that it wasn't always a school, but no one knows what it was originally. Maybe it was a hideout or a lab, he explained. I bet it's neither, she said. My mom was lucky. She was a professor bec- because of easy access. This comes from my dad's side, Florence said. I bet it made it easier, but also harder because it's underground, he said. Come on, don't keep me waiting in and walk in the flowers, Bloss. Don't worry, they're They grow back lightning fast. Oh my gosh. Most of this just doesn't make sense, he said, giving her a wink. He started to trottle on into the mystical garden. She slowly went into the room. She peered at a dark red flower, sniffed it, and felt it. These flowers smell angelic and feel angelic too. Blossom put her left talon first into the shimmering flowers. They were so soft under her talon, just like a cloud. She felt bad to crush the flowers, even though they would grow back quickly with whatever spell was placed upon them. She proceeded to step into the flowers fully. She ran up to catch Florin. This is incredible, Florin, Blossom exclaimed. The trees, the flowers, the pond, the everything. It also stole my breath away when I first saw it, Florin said as he slowed down. Now I totally get why you wanted to show me this place, Blossom explained. What's the garden called? It's called the Glowing Garden, Florin said. No wonder. Everything's glowing. Even you're glowing, Florin, Blossom explained. Geez, you are too, and I think the glowing aroma suits you, Blossom. Actually, it's more like tests and homework, she said. Come on, boss, just take a compliment, he said, rolling his eyes. How can I take a compliment when you ruin my perfect attendance? Florin began to laugh. And this part is also under construction, so. Oh, okay. What is the last time someone complimented you on something other than schoolwork? He said. Blossom sighed and then grinned. Actually, I was complimented by Tulip a few days ago, who runs the local garden. She said that my sewing skills were outstanding and that she couldn't believe I sewed all these plushies by hand. Blossom replied. You got me there, Blossom Dew, he said. That's her last name. Blossom Dew is her full name, by the way. So, yeah. Is he a gremlin? I don't know. He's interesting. Like, at first I was like, I didn't really know what to do with him, but now I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, but sure. I kind of not, kind of not. Okay. Is like anyone even here? I know you're here, Abel, but like other than that, is anyone else here? I have been reading this for an hour now. Wow, that's well less than an hour, but still. And yeah. So basically, it's like they just keep talking, which is kind of boring. The end part is really good though. The end part is amazing because it's actually action packed. Okay, I'm gonna like go to the end because the end is nice. Okay. Yeah, Florence suddenly looked around as if he were spooked. Let's go, Bloss, he whispered in Blossom's ear. Blossom's stomach sank to the floor. What does he mean, let's go? Is something happening? Is someone or something here? Gulp. Florin started walking back, alert and aware of his surroundings. Blossom stayed close to him. She was scared and didn't know what to do. Crap, ugh. Let's just get to the door, okay? To go up the stairs the way we came, slowly but surely. And don't make sudden moves. Lauren whispered, What? Is there a creature here I don't know about? Blossom imagined a freaky looking monster with as many eyes as the stars and a big mouth with blades for teeth and a sticky, almost spongy looking skin. It's a round body with many large legs and it
claws and have a spiky looking. What the heck, bro? She imagined it smiling at her, all its eyes fixed on her. Shut up, mine, Blossom thought. Both of their scales brushed against each other, and bubbling fear consumed the wonder they both had together. Why do all my good moments, always have to be interrupted? It happens one way or another. They finally reached the entranceway, slipped in the door. Florin shut the door, and locked it with a weird-looking key and some other locking contraptions. Almost relieved. She had never. Blossom felt the most relief she had ever felt in her life. I didn't see a door when. Did I see a door? Whatever. I didn't see a door when we walked in the entrance, Blossom whispered. I guess it was just your amazement, Bloss, he said, grinning. Many things you don't see here, many things that are here are barely visible in the first place. I think of it as part of its charm, he said, looking down at the dusty floor with a smile peeking at the ends of his mouth. You're acting weird, Florin. What the hell did you get yourself into? I'm not stupid. Florence Florence screamed in a whisper-like tone. His pupils constricted. What do you mean? What was following us? Blossom interrupted swiftly. Sure, he would just continue to make up the excuses and stutter. I don't know, Blossom. I just got bang, 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 bang. Blossom and Florin both jumped back, frightened at the sudden sound that came from the door. What was banging on the door? What, what, what is this? Whatever it was, what could. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. Okay. Something snapped. She glared at Florin, who looked as if he was ready to melt into the dirt floor. How dare he think that she was this incompetent? Bang, bang, bang. There is the pounding sound again against the door. Someone or something wanted in, and wanted it now. Lauren waved her over, motioning to the spiral staircase. She had none of it, and strode over to the heavy metal door. Bang, bang. She flinched and looked at Florin with a determined look in her eye. Hey, that said, don't dare try to stop me. Lauren shook his head, his expression consuming by fear. He was pleading with her. He was silently pleading with her, but without saying anything. She waited, bang, bang. Then she put her ear up to the door. Dragons have excellent hearing, so Blossom hoped she could listen and find out whatever this was. She heard two male adult dragons' voices. One was scruffy and older, the other one was more relaxed and younger. She could only make out Florin, what is new. Bang, 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 her ears shot away from the door, spooked by the banging once again. The younger the younger dragon sounded like he was wondering about something, which was most likely the magical garden that they were in right now. The one seemed more informed than the younger one, which would have made sense because elder dragons know best. Blossom harnessed her critical thinking skills. I can't be sure that these are dragons. Just because they sound like dragons doesn't mean they are dragons. Blossom felt warm claws on her wings. She turned to see Florin, motioning his head to the stairwell with a nervous look in his eye. He leaned close to her ear, whispering, Bloss, we've got to go now. Come on. He walked to the door. He walked slowly to the staircase, and she started to follow him, glancing back at the door. Suddenly she heard a muffling, shouting voice that appeared to be coming from the other side of the door. We're coming in. Florin was practically tugging her up the stairs, but she resisted, which was weird. She was usually the one to run from potential danger, not Florin. Then the door began to crack and crumble. Two dragons emerged, the younger one younger, one older. Ha, just like I thought. The dragon's eyes went from Florin to Blossom, giving them dirty looks. The younger one approached her and grabbed her arm. Hey, what the? He threw her to the floor head first. Crack. She hit her head on the one of the many large rocks protruding from the floor. She clenched her teeth in pain. She screamed. Nothing came out. The pain was so unbearable that she reached for the darkness of unconsciousness. It hurts. She, he definitely did that on purpose. Her mind spiraled, barely able to make sense of everything. A familiar fury developed in her bones, a kind of anger she hadn't felt since her mother died. Well, her mother disappeared. Um, she wanted to pounce on the dragons and dig her claws into their eyes. She wanted them to feel her pain, the type of pain that no one else has ever felt but her. What would they do with Florence, she thought, scared to that she might lose the most important dragon to her. Her vision became more unclear and drool dripped from her mouth. Or was it drool? What the hell, Agent Florin yelled at the younger dragon. Florin rushed over to her with fear in his eyes. Blossom tried to speak, but nothing came out. She had the wind knocked out of her. Hold on. Florin knows them? Now she was more confused. She touched her throbbing head. Her eyes were becoming dark and blurry. As she touched her scales, she felt something wet. Damn it, I'm bleeding. She's bleeding, damn it, someone yelled. Bloss, you'll be fine, I promise. I just need to. Her eyes snapped shut. I will. The darkness swallowed her whole. Find out what happened, she thought to herself. She became unconscious. Okay, mic drop. Yeah, it's done. I have so much homework. I don't know why I did this. But yeah. I'm never doing that again because everyone left. Thank you. Yeah, poor Blossom. Poor Blossom. And yep, that's how the chapter ends. So yeah, poor main characters. And then the next chapter is gonna be about Shadow and another one of my Dragon OCs that will be getting a remake. I don't even know when. Sometime soon. But yeah. That's kind of that. And Shadowin is an assassin, so yay. More deaths. Tough crowd, bro. There's no one here. There's no one here. But yeah, that was it. I think I'm gonna end the live because oh my gosh, I'm really tired. That was draining. And even though it was joinable, there's literally no one here except you. So yeah. And I gotta work on homework and other stuff that I don't want to do because, yeah. Epic, I love death. Yeah, it's so real. But yeah, I'm gonna end the live. So goodbye.